It was 5 in the morning when I heard the sound of forks and spoons clinking together. The noise woke me up, and it was coming from my locked boathouse down by the water. At first I thought I was dreaming, but then I heard a cabinet door slam shut. After that, I heard a woman humming along to quiet jazz music. I hadn't gone into that boathouse for more than a month, and it was locked up super tight like a treasure chest. I had put in lights that turn on when something moves, solar panels that I built myself, and a really strong lock on the door. My belly felt sick. I was still wearing my fuzzy pajama pants and boots with no socks. I grabbed a flashlight and walked down the bumpy path to the dock. I thought maybe it was a raccoon or some homeless person who had broken in through a window. But I never expected to see Lisa Monroe. She was wearing a flowery bathrobe and drinking coffee on my boathouse deck like she owned the whole place. There was a pink blow-up flamingo floating by the rope post. A speaker was playing smooth trumpet music, and I could smell fancy lavender, candles coming from inside. When she saw me, she waved like I was the one bothering her morning. I just stood there with my flashlight shining on her until I finally managed to say, "What the heck are you doing?" She said back to me, "Oh, I thought nobody was using this place anymore." Nobody using it? My boathouse was only 200 feet away from my house on my own lake property, and there was a big "Keep Out" sign right there. But Lisa just laughed, took another drink of her coffee, and talked about how nice and peaceful the water was. She acted like she had found some free vacation rental. I tried to stay cool and told her the obvious stuff. This was my private property. It was a locked building, and she needed to get out. Lisa didn't even blink. Instead, she pulled out this plastic-covered booklet from our neighborhood's homeowners group. She pointed to some confusing rule about shared waterfront fun stuff. She said this rule meant she could use old buildings that nobody was using. I laughed because I thought she was joking, but her face looked dead serious. The way she saw it, my boathouse that I hadn't used for 3 weeks was now something the whole neighborhood could use. It didn't matter that my property wasn't even controlled by the homeowners group. I owned my own piece of land that was protected from before the homeowners group even existed, but Lisa and her friends had always acted like the lake belonged to them, ignoring who really owned what and where the property lines were. But this was way more bold than anything they'd done before. I told her to leave again, but meaner this time. She stood up and fixed her bathrobe like she was some kind of princess. She said I was ruining the peaceful feeling. When I walked onto the deck to unlock my door, I found out she had changed my lock. She smiled at me through the glass window and said she didn't feel safe letting me in unless I stopped being so angry. Me! The person who owns it! I was locked out of my own building. I was so mad I marched back to my house and called the police, hoping they would end this crazy situation. The police officer who came tried not to smile as Lisa said hello to him with hot tea and a folder of papers she called her rights to be here. He looked at my photos from a month ago that showed the boathouse locked up tight, but he just shrugged and said this seemed like something for the courts to figure out unless I could prove she broke in by force. Lisa smiled like she had just won a card game. When the police officer left, she gave me a smart Alex salute and said I should think of the weekend like renting out my place. I warned her I would press charges if she didn't move out. "Please do," she said. Then she mumbled something about buying an outdoor carpet and string lights that run on solar power. She was planning to stay. Inside, she had turned my boathouse into some kind of fancy relaxation place. There were fluffy pillows everywhere and a fake plant on the window shelf. She had pushed my kayak against the wall and replaced my chairs with beach chairs. She had a brunch party for her friends that Sunday with fancy drinks, yoga mats, and a singing contest that was so loud you could hear it across the whole lake. I recorded everything. Every delivery box with her name on it, every snotty wave she gave me. When I tried to talk sense into her that evening, she said she would get a court order to make me stay away. She claimed I was bothering a weak woman who was trying to heal. I almost laughed myself to death. That night I looked through all my property papers, ownership documents, land maps, electric bills, everything that proved the boathouse was mine. Then I found something amazing. Lake property law said that a building separated from land and floating without being tied down became a boat, not a house. It would be controlled by completely different rules. I got a wickedly fun idea. If Lisa wanted to claim my boathouse, I'd let her, but not where she thought it would be. I found an old but working tugboat for sale in the next county over. It was cheap and ready for the lake. Lisa thought she had won, that I would give up like the homeowners group always expected people to do. But I wasn't just fighting back. I was changing the whole game. By Monday, the boathouse looked like a floating decoration magazine. Lisa had added curtains, a cozy blanket set, a rack of bathrobes, and a ceramic welcome sign shaped like a seashell. My chairs were gone and replaced with beach loungers. She had lined the dock with hand-painted rocks that had cheesy sayings like, "Calmness starts here." She offered me a fruit smoothie like this was some kind of resort. Even worse, she had a clipboard with a schedule, stretching exercises at sunrise, relaxing sound session at noon. She was giving tours to her homeowners group friends, pointing at my fishing gear and calling it boat decorations. I took pictures from my kitchen window because I knew I needed perfect proof. I got video from hidden cameras I had put up a year ago to keep raccoons away. They had caught everything. Lisa prying open a window, laughing with a friend about how she would claim the place was abandoned if I complained. I saved the video files 3 times to be safe. Then I studied the homeowners group rules and confirmed that their shared fun stuff rule only applied to their land, not my private boathouse. Lisa's excuse was like a house made of cards, but she wasn't following rules anyway. She was using the homeowners group like a weapon. I needed to hit her where it would hurt, her public reputation. My chance came when Lisa posted a video online, bragging about her wellness retreat and inviting her followers to a lakeside silent dance party. She filmed the whole boathouse, showing off her health drink fridge and my redecorated space. She even thanked the homeowners group for letting her use it. She had just confessed to trespassing on video. I sent the clip to a friend who ran a local Facebook group. Within hours, it was posted with the caption, "Our HOA president thinks this is okay." The comments exploded. Neighbors who didn't know I wasn't in the homeowners group were furious. One guy named Tom, who had lived there for 20 years, promised to file a complaint. Things were starting to change. Lisa fought back by posting another video claiming she was being bullied online by mean men and was taking back abandoned space for the community. I kept building my plan. The tugboat was mine, parked behind trees where Lisa couldn't see it. My friend Jake, who fixes boats, helped me get it ready. The plan was simple. Untie the boathouse, pull it to the middle of the lake, and let it float in legal confusion. Once it was separated from my land, it wasn't on my property anymore. It was a boat, and Lisa's rights would disappear. My cousin, Sarah, who was studying to be a lawyer, wrote a letter warning Lisa about trespassing and boat law violations. She gave Lisa 48 hours to get out. I taped one copy to the boathouse door, slid another under her chair, and mailed one to the homeowners group. Lisa's response? She scribbled, "Nice try, this is a community area now," and added a lake wellness sanctuary. Signed to the dock. Friday night, I checked the tugboat with Jake. Everything was ready. The weather was calm. Lisa was clinking wine glasses with friends to spa music. She had no idea her stolen retreat was about to lose its address. As night came, I watched her host a full moon meditation circle through binoculars. The whole situation was crazy. A woman so entitled she thought the lake had to obey her. I wasn't arguing anymore. I was moving the problem, legally, publicly, and hilariously. At sunrise, fog rolled over the lake as I started up the tugboat. Jake, dressed in dark clothes for drama, gave me a thumbs up from the dock. The engine rumbled, but Lisa didn't wake up, probably still asleep after her late-night ceremony. We had hidden a tow rope under the boathouse deck days earlier. Jake threw it to me and I hooked it to the pull bar. The boathouse moved easily, rocking slightly as we pulled slowly. I pushed the throttle forward, towing it to the deepest part of the lake, past the legal halfway point. I dropped a temporary anchor just deep enough to keep it from floating. Back. As pink colors broke the horizon, the boathouse bobbed gracefully, no longer connected to my shore. Jake crouched on the dock, holding back laughter through binoculars. Then the lights turned on. Lisa appeared in the doorway, yawning in a fancy silk robe with tea in her hand. It took her 10 seconds to notice something was wrong. She stepped onto the porch, blinked at the open water, and almost dropped her mug. Spinning in a circle, she shouted a confused hello across the lake. Jake collapsed, laughing silently. Lisa's yells got more frantic. Something about police, kidnapping, a building, and federal crimes. She stormed inside, probably to get her phone, then came back pacing and waving her arms as she tried explaining to 911 that her lakeside property was now in international waters. Her face went sour. The operator wasn't buying it. She screamed toward shore, "Bring me back! This is false imprisonment!" A jogger across the lake waved awkwardly and kept running. Lisa's power that was so strong on land disappeared on water. 20 minutes later, she went back inside. Then a jet ski buzzed across the lake, homeowners group treasurer Mike in a flashy life vest trailing a rope. Lisa yelled like a stranded pirate. Mike threw her the rope, shouting, "Tie it to the porch." She did, barking orders like a ship captain. Mike gunned the jet ski, but the boathouse barely moved. The rope snapped, slingshotting Mike into the water with a yelp. Lisa screamed his name as he flailed around, then swam back soaked and collapsed beside her, muttering about boat sabotage. Jake stuffed a towel in his mouth to stay quiet. Lisa called 911 again, claiming she was being held hostage and stranded. The operator's response only made her madder. She started live streaming, telling her story with sad music. Lisa Monroe illegally evicted and cast adrift by a bitter neighbor with no heart. The video went viral and got mocked mercilessly. Comments asked if she'd met Wilson from Castaway or needed a paddle. A meme put her face on a lighthouse as Queen of Denial. That afternoon, the sheriff's lake patrol arrived on a pontoon. Lisa waved her arms pointing at my dock, but the officers handed her a trespassing notice I'd filed earlier. They explained she wasn't on land, she was on a boat. Her yells about "How is this legal?" echoed as they escorted her and Mike to shore. The boathouse stayed floating peacefully, stripped of her ego. The story exploded by evening. Castaway. Lisa trended on Reddit. Her live stream became a meme fest. Pirate hats photoshopped on her head, flags reading "Entitlement Ahoy." Neighbors spread the tale through group chats and Facebook. Lisa posted a tearful video claiming she was spiritually vandalized by my repressed anger toward female empowerment. The comments tore her apart, citing her trespassing and lies to police. Her homeowners group records surfaced, citations for loud parties, mailbox paint violations, a warning ban for being chaotic. Her story collapsed. The homeowners group sent a cease and desist letter demanding I return the boathouse and apologize for endangering Lisa. Sarah's response was brutal, citing lake laws and homeowners group limits, ending with, "Advise Ms. Monroe she is not above the law." The homeowners group then tried to take over my lakefront, claiming it as a shared recreation district. They held a packed meeting where Lisa presented a slideshow about preserving community access with nonsensical graphs on communal serenity. Tom stood up calling her out for breaking in and turning my boathouse into a spa. Another neighbor asked why she called police on me at my own dock. The room clapped. Lisa stormed out. The takeover vote was postponed. Lisa's lawyer threatened to sue for emotional distress and forced floating. Sarah countered with our footage. Lisa's break-in, her parties, her own videos admitting she had no permission. Lisa's reputation crashed. Neighbors shunned her. Sticky notes on her car read, "Lake Queen in Exile." Her Instagram followers vanished. The homeowners group distanced itself, saying she acted alone. At the next election, Lisa lost her board seat, and the president resigned. New leader Emily added a Lisa clause to the bylaws banning homeowners group overreach on private property. A month later, I auctioned the boathouse as Lisa's Island, a floating monument to entitlement, the listing with a video tour mocking Lisa's meditation mat and false 911 calls went viral. Bids hit $15,000. A tech entrepreneur bought it as a conversation piece. I added a plaque inside. Here floated the queen of HOA delusion. Neighbors watched it towed away, blasting the Titanic theme. Lisa, learning via a TikTok with 4 million views, ranted about me profiting off her trauma. The comments buried her. She sold her house and left, silent. I turned my shoreline into a community seating area, open to all, with one rule: no leases. The lake was quiet again. Justice delivered not by sirens, but by a tugboat and the internet's laughter. Lisa didn't just lose. She became a cautionary tale, proof that when someone invades your space, the best revenge is letting their delusions drift publicly, hilariously, into oblivion.